up we go. We're not back to strong dollar of the 1990s. At the end of the day, overcomes all. Why is it our exorbitant privilege?
I think exorbitant privilege in the sense the U.S. actually can get away with policies that no other country can. I mean, think about this. When the Fed was doing QE for 5 years, other countries might have basically brought on a crisis. The U.S., on the other hand, was able to actually recover off this. So I think that's the main thing. But I think what we need to basically recognize is there is now a bifurcation of the dollar in the markets. Dollar is doing very well against EM currencies, against commodity currencies, but against the euro and the yen of the likes, the dollar actually has been taking a bit of a backseat because the problem line is as China devalues, China slows, to the extent it's going to lead the Fed to basically hike more slowly. This has not been such good news against the euro and the yen.
Help me with your yen call out 3, 4, and 5 years. Where's yen 3, 4, 5 years from now?
I think the yen is going to be tad weaker, but I think the short term, in fact, if anything, the yen is probably going to be stronger. Think about it, going to tomorrow. If the Fed were to hike rates, the yen is going to be stronger because stock market is going to go down. If the Fed doesn't hike rates, the yen is probably going to be stronger.
The differential between you at Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, and Goldman Sachs is to a weaker yen through some further form of Abenomics. That implies a Rubin-like dollar, doesn't it?
I think to some extent, yes, absolutely. But I think to the extent that the U.S. until now is willing to accept further yen weakness. But I think that those days are coming to an end. I think somebody in Detroit is already calling on somebody in Washington. Somebody's in Washington is calling that basically.
This is my point. You know, David Wu, that this is not solved by economists. It's solved by manufacturers like Detroit, or frankly, by the State Department, isn't it?
Absolutely. Especially now with Donald Trump and basically Rubio talking up, basically the whole story about China, Japan taking jobs away from the U.S. I think you have to believe that sooner or later the U.S. will be forced
I got
to
to ask this, Brennan, very critical here. Have you been advising Mr. Trump on economic policy?
Not yet.
When you talk about Trump and Rubio also to some extent, it's the great American pastime to predict our own decline. But does anything threaten anywhere in the future this exorbitant privilege?
Not really. I mean, I think, in fact, this whole SDR business around China, I think is a fig leaf. In fact, the U.S. is in a very enviable position that nobody else is in right now. So there's no question the U.S. coming back. However, the question is, can the U.S. decouple from the rest of the world as the rest of the world slows? And I think at what point, the U.S. will be forced to join the currency war because the dollar and the renminbi remain the two strongest currencies in the world. We'll just see what the Chinese basically no longer want a strong currency. The question is how much longer the U.S. will find a strong currency desirable.
And because so much is invoiced in dollars as well, the currency war works better for us than it does for anybody else.
Exactly. There's no question.
For our viewers out there that don't know Modigliani Miller, to our viewers that don't really understand reflation versus inflation, what is the trip that turns us from a benevolent strong dollar into a troubled strong dollar?
I think, honestly, this is where if the renminbi were to devalue, which is my prediction, I think my prediction is that the biggest story in the next 6 months is going to be acceleration in renminbi devaluation. That's going to basically create competitive devaluation around the world. Commodity prices are going to come down sharply, and it's going to be highly deflationary for the U.S. That's when the problem.
David Wu, thank you so much with this core call of a second derivative of what we will see in the end. We got calculus into the 6 o'clock hour. That's cool.